Welcome back to another episode of BanyoThoughts. This is your host, Gian, and today we are going to talk about how to embrace the present, unveiling the core of mindfulness. So, as you know, I've been talking about the for the past couple of podcasts, the program that I'm actually taking, which is called Kaizen, which is short for, growing in small increments on a day-to-day basis. So one of the core components of the program is really being self-aware. So, and I discussed this already in the previous episodes of this podcast. Um, and the and if you go deeper into that concept, you will actually realize that the practice of many of you can say successful people is they are just constantly present. So they're very much they don't overthink of what's happening in the future, and they don't dwell in the past. No. um for me, this is a very and you can say enriching experience over the past couple of months, because uh like I mentioned in the previous podcast already, I have tons of limiting beliefs, and those limiting beliefs about, especially for example, about money, about success, about imposter syndrome, um, and yung parang hindi ka para dyan, or hindi ka okay dyan, alam mo na yan, mga ganyan, or hindi ganun ka-importante yung mga bagay nito. And that actually created like a sort of like a barrier on how I wanted to do things or move forward with things. So, and that Kaizen actually helped me uh, realize, or at least made me self-aware that these are the thoughts that go through my head, and have to unravel them and face them one by one. And one of the effective ways of doing that is really about living in the present by practicing mindfulness. So, what are the tips or techniques that I started employing to be able to practice mindfulness? Is the first one is really uh, creating a routine for the day. I think that's the first uh, practice that I did, by establishing that on the first thing in the morning, these are the things that I have to do. That, and these are the things that I majorly work on. That, and by this time I'll be doing this. So it's basically a schedule, and that I just need to do follow that schedule, and I just follow the activities of that schedule. Um, and the schedule basically is not really overcomplicated as well, because I realized that if I put too much things to do during the day, I will not get them done. So just three major things that I really want to accomplish, and so that I know, and that will ensure that I grow that 1% on that day. So ganun siya, no? So one, setting aside time, no, by creating your own schedule, no. And in that schedule, that's where I put meditation in the morning, and then reflection also in the evening before the day ends. Meditation in the morning, because I wanted to create like the sort of the flow of the day, where in my case, I do spiritual meditation, where I thank God for waking up. You have that opportunity to live for another day, and to do great things during that day. But for some of you, you may practice like think of the things that you want to do today, or have a positive vibe of um how your day would wanna flow. So, or looking at the appreciating that, I don't know, maybe sa akin, I think good to appreciate your body, like it's your breathing, and that just to calm your mind. Or I don't know. Then sometimes we just don't even have to think about anything. We just have to be silent. No? So I do like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes of meditation in the morning, and in the evening I do a reflection before I go to bed, where I read actually my mission and vision board, and I feel it as well. So I read my identity board. It's where people I admire, the characteristics or the personalities or the traits that they have that I admire, that I want to um, make my own. Meaning those are the things that I wanna parang gayahin rin from them. And then the vision board of the things I want to accomplish in, for example, this year 2023. And then the accomplishment board, the things that I'm thankful for, the things that I've achieved already over the past years, just to be able to foster that attitude of gratitude. So that's the first thing that I would suggest. Of if you just set the time for to meditate, that would be a good start of having to have a mindful mindset. And then the second one, and this is on the during the day already, to be, I would say, have like a non-judgmental awareness. Fostering a mindset of acceptance of things that happen during the day, whether there are things that are good things that happen or bad things that happen. So being able to determine like, oh, okay, so nangyari to, let's say you planned out to go, let's say doing this errand, and then it suddenly started raining, and basically the whole your whole day gets affected because the traffic and etc etc. So having that mindset that, hey, okay, so umulan, it's out of your control. Di mo naman di naman ginusto umulan, but these things happen. It snowballed from there that you weren't able to do the following things, and then you started becoming irritable. So having that mindset of like, okay, it's out of your control, being irritable, okay, it's fine. You have to accept that you're irritable. I'll give you an example. Like yesterday, I was walking my Mateo, my dog, and then it just poured out. The rain just poured out. We got really soaked wet. And we were far from the house because we were walking maybe like I don't know, maybe a kilometer or 2 kilometers away from the house. But we managed to get like to go to a shed, but we still got wet. And then when I came back home, we were both wet, and my mom was a bit on her panic stage because getting wet, you might get sick. So she kept on repeating the whole thing over and over again. Though, did you? She actually asked me, "Did you get wet?" And that actually triggered me because, for obvious reasons, you can actually see that I am actually wet. But why do you have to ask that question? So, and I reflected on that. Of course, I got really irritated by it because why are you asking something that's pretty obvious? So, and but then I corrected myself eventually because I realized it's coming from concern that if you get wet, then you take a shower, they take a bath. So she doesn't want me to get sick because people are getting sick nowadays because there's a flu going on, and she just wants me not to get sick. And that's the reason why she said those things, but she phrased it differently, and I had to bring myself to the present by understanding where she's coming from and why she's like that. And internally, because I got a bit like irritated by the question, then I had to correct myself, and I said, sorry for this because this is the way I thought about it. Then the next time I hear it again, I know she's coming from this, and then she's just thinking about me and my health. So then I felt a bit better because I don't like to get irritated with my mom, and especially these are just petty things, so something that you're not worth getting frustrated, irritated about, no. So and then so putting myself back into that mindful moment and present moment. So I didn't it really was really a practice of self-awareness, looking at the trigger and seeing why am I triggered by that, and then understanding the reason behind it, and then what can I do to prevent that from happening again, or to correcting myself from having that irritable mindset, or irritable thoughts. So that's how I corrected myself. So that really helped me a lot, no. So that's the third one, no, not having awareness, no, non-judgmental awareness by looking things at things as neither good. I mean, that's as it is. So you don't have to really base it whether it's good or it's a bad thing. So parang pag-aralan mo lang siya. And then the third one is breathing. This I think this really helped a lot, especially if you're feeling a bit stressed out or things are not going your way, and having that um parang moment where you can just like sit down in a chair and do like 10 breathings. Because as you do like breathing, like you inhale and you exhale and you count your inhale and you exhale, especially if you're very agitated or you're very affected, um, you start calming down. And when you start calming down, your thoughts also starts calming down, and you start looking at assessing things a lot better with a more present mindset rather than being affected of the what's going to happen next or you got irritated in the past. So it's just focusing on that present moment. So having like a breathing exercise. So counting 1 to 10, inhale, and then exhale, then inhale, then exhale. So exhale through your mouth. So that practice alone makes you feel like, one, you're living in the moment and that you're present. So that helps you. Two, it actually relaxes your body, so you don't feel the tension anymore. And then three, it relaxes also your mind because they're focused on your breathing. So your entire thoughts is just basically on focusing on getting the air in and getting the carbon dioxide out. So that's one way you can practice also mindfulness. So, and the last one I would say, which is connected to the first one, really is about mindful activities. Journaling is one example of that. I am very happy that I've been very, very consistent on since start of the year to write things down, things that I'm grateful for, reflections of the things that I'm grateful for, and I keep that journal. Although it's not written down in pen and paper, but I type it down in my computer, which I can access anywhere. So that I can go back and read over it. No? So that kind of mindful activity, like journaling. So figure out something that's a mindful activity for you. It can be meditation as well. It can be yoga. I don't know. It can be like a stretching exercise. It can be journaling. Or it can be just as simple as walking outside. I've been walking. Before I used to walk and listen to a podcast or listen to music, but recently I stopped doing that because I started walking and just being mindful of the environment and then being mindful of my thoughts and my thought processes. In fact, I use those moments of walking to internalize things that have happened, that are happening in my life that I need to reflect on, and use that moment to create like strategies for myself, like personal things that I need to do to to grow more. And because I realize you have to grow every day. I don't know, I just feel I'm now at the stage, or my mindset is in a stage where I just want to improve constantly, and I have to realize small things that I'm not doing well. Like I know I'm not one of the things I'm not doing well is reading, and I talked about this in the previous podcast about because I am obsessed with webtoons, and that's my actually dopamine, meaning that's my I would say addiction. I think dopamine addiction because my happy addiction. And I think I should lessen my time for it because it's really affecting my work hours, because sometimes I use it as an excuse to like I just feel stressed out. I read. So so hindi siya okay, no? Hindi siya okay na ano. So I doon na realize ko yun habang naglalakad. So and those things I appreciate because you're there present in the moment. So yun lang. I just wanted to share with you guys that how you can live in the moment by practicing mindfulness. So we talked about already, like setting aside time, like, activities that you want to do during the day, having self-awareness, that, things may not happen the way you want it, but being able to determine, like, these things shouldn't affect your mood, or, I mean, it can affect your mood, but you should be mindful that, okay, so this thing happened, so let's learn from this, or what can I do better next time. And then breathing is a very good practice activity. And then other mindful activities, such as like journaling. For me, it's journaling and walking. Can be also be yoga. It can be also like maybe meditation, like a full on meditation if you guys want. So those are the couple of things that I wanted to share, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two about it, about mindfulness, and having this uh, mindset that you're always should be in the present moment and not being worried about what's going to be happening in the future, and not be so consumed by what happened in the past. So if you like this episode, please do share it. Follow my Spotify, or recommend it to a friend or a family member. So, and with that, I'd like to say thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys for listening to me. This is Gian again from BanyoThoughts, and I hope to see you guys, or hope you guys tune in to my next episode. Until then, thank you and have a great day.